Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, and today we're actually getting into some regular Ultra League Go Battle League battles. Somebody on a video from a couple days ago commented they want to see some more regular Ultra League content, and they've been seeing the same few mods being recycled by different content creators because all of us are pretty much focused on Ultra Premier, and understandably so. Sometimes you figure out which league you enjoy and you want to get used to and figure out how to adapt to that specific league, and there's big differences between Ultra and Ultra Premier. Obviously the legendaries, no legendaries, but I feel like Ultra League matches take a lot longer because the mods are so much bulkier. So the way you go about playing it is different and you get set in your ways. So on that note though, I do want to diversify the content for you guys. Let me know if you want to see a mix of Ultra Premier and Ultra League, and when Masters comes back around, Master, Premier, and Master. I will try my best and do a better job of alternating the content, because I think I said it when those Premier Cups were announced that I would alternate, and then never did because I was getting super comfortable in the Premier metas. So let me know if you guys want to see it. That is something I will 100% do for you guys. I will figure out spice mods for regular Ultra League, Ultra Premier, and then when Masters comes around, Master, Premier, and regular Masters. But on that note, I do have a set of battles using my old team from Season 2 regular Ultra that consists of Obstagoon, Cresselia, and Swampert. For a while, that Swampert was Charizard, but then towards the end of that season, I kind of felt like the spammier pick and the bit bulkier pick in Swampert was the better play. So that's how that was some of the thought process behind the team. Not a lot of it. I also just like Obstagoon, and I felt like Cresselia with its bulk paired well with the three of them. I'm not really giving like the deepest analysis here. Let's get into the battles. If you're excited for some regular Ultra, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want me to mix it up, I'll try to do like literally a swap. One day Ultra, one day Premier, one day Ultra, and then again for Masters. But please let me know if that's something you want to see. Let's jump into these battles. So getting a little bit into the team breakdown, the main reason why I even ran Obstagoon is just because when Season 2 came around, Obstagoon was like brand new, and I wanted to test it out and mess around with it, and I just had a lot of fun with it and enjoyed it as a mon. I didn't really run it because of all its meta wins that it gets. Like, it beats Giratina Altered if it's running Shadow Claw. It beats like Lapras, which is somewhat meta in regular Ultra, and like for that reason I thought it'd be better in Premier, and I rarely ever see Obstagoons in Premier. But like even in these Steel matchups, because it has counter as a quick move, it doesn't really beat Melmetal or Registeel, some of the two bigger threats in regular Ultra League, because of the fighting type moves that they both have access to. Superpower would do a super chunk to Obstagoon, and Focus Blast from Registeel one-shots an Obstagoon. So in this matchup, I at least call the superpower, they swapped, and then I swap into my Cresselia to match. And I also remember Elite TMing this Cresselia at the end of Season 2 for this specific reason, to handle the grass types like Swampert and Lapras a lot easier. And this matchup plays out very interesting. We're both going to exchange some blows, and I'm going to throw these grass knots, and they're actually going to shield them both. I'm wondering if it's because they want to commit to switch, or if they just want to get my shields so that they could superpower my Obstagoon later. But again, getting into the team itself, I wanted to just really run Obstagoon at the time. Cresselia was super meta at the time. It had that 30% debuff on the Moonblast. Then, now that's been nerfed to a 10%, and then just added the bulk. And then overall coverage-wise, to deal with the steel types like Registeel and Melmetal that Obstagoon can't really deal with, I have Swampert. And then, of course, Obstagoon can deal solid chip damage to some of the things that beat it, like Cresselia. It could still deal super effective Night Slashes, and then again, like the steel types, it has super effective counter. I'm repeating myself a bit, but that was some of the thought going into this team. And at this point in the match, I'm getting greedy. I decided to commit to a complete farm down because they had thrown a superpower, and I knew I could at least tank one. But you see how much that threw? That was a lot, and that was a problem. I made a mistake there. When they brought in Melmetal, I should have went into Swampert. That was a huge misplay on my end. I went into Obstagoon because, again, I'm getting a feel for regular Ultra League again, and I remember that not being the worst matchup, and I also didn't realize that they would win CMP like that, and I would let all that energy I farmed down go to waste. So that ends up being a huge mistake on my part for two reasons. One, Obstagoon lined up with the Melmetal, which is not something I want. And then when I finally take out the Swampert, we're going to see what their last Pokemon is, and it's going to be a Giratina Altered, and this Giratina Altered has Shadow Claw. So all I needed to do was line up my Swampert with the Melmetal, and then Obstagoon would have handled this Giratina Altered just fine. So big misplays on my end, could have won this match, because again, one meta matchup that Obstagoon does win is against Shadow Claw Giratina Altered. If it's running Dragon Breath, Obstagoon actually loses that unless it gets the boost. It's a very close matchup though, and it's very, again, boost dependent. So we're gonna watch this play out. I am not a happy camper about it. They're gonna throw a Dragon Claw. I am not gonna be able to get to another Earthquake in time. So I was like I went for the Hydro Cannon because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get there in time. And then I think I was hopeful that my Cresselia had some energy or had enough health or whatever to potentially get to a Moonblast. But what's going to happen is we CMP tied also, so I definitely was getting to the Earthquake. They're going to take out my Swampert. I swap, hoping I can get there, realize I do not have anywhere near enough health, get Shadow Claw down, and they take me out. Huge mistake, cost me a first match as I get readjusted into regular Ultra League. After that huge misplay in the first match, let's get into the second. Let's hope I can bounce back. What leads are we going to get? We're going to get Obstagoon on another Melmetal. It's so funny, before Jesus was a thing, like seasons ago, I had never seen Melmetal in regular Ultra League. It's almost like people think that by running it, they're going to get access to the way he was cheating in the game. So I find it very fascinating that Melmetal became popular after the fact. But you know what? It does have some play. I won't talk smack about Melmetal. It definitely wins its matchups in regular Ultra. I just wasn't seeing it then, and now, you know, apparently in this set, I'm seeing it all over the place. Either way, they swap in Giratina Altered with Dragon Breath, and I don't really have a great answer for Giratina Altered in the back. Like, I could have went into my Cresselia, I guess, and if I would have swapped fast enough, I probably would have been able to spam some Moonblast to keep switch, but at the same time, I really don't want Melmetal lined up to my Obstagoon. So the fact that they swapped out was fine with me because I don't want my Obstagoon to get superpowered, and then they're bringing one of my bigger counters in to face one of my strongest weapons against that counter. So I'm going for another Night Slash here. I'd win out this matchup if I would have gotten a boost. Unfortunately, was not able to. They're going to commit to a Dragon Breath down though, which was good for me because I'm going to get off another Night Slash here. And if they don't shield, they waste their energy. If they do shield, I'm up two shields and no shields, and they decide to shield there. So excuse me, that worked itself out pretty well if I say so myself. They go for a charge move here. Cresselia can tank all these super effective Shadow Sneaks coming from Giratina Altered. It's a very weak move, even dealing super effective damage. Doesn't really threaten my Cresselia here. I'm even at the point where I decide I'm like okay with taking another one, so I'm over farming. And the reason why I over farmed like that was because I was expecting the CMP time when they got to it. So I'm like, you know what, let's just take the Shadow Sneak and make sure I get some extra energy here before we CMP tie and I leave this situation without the extra energy and still taking the Shadow Sneak. So I get this Moonblast off after over farming a bit, and then we're going to see what they decide they want to swap in, but I have a 2 shield to no shield advantage, so I'm feeling pretty good. They bring the Melmetal back in, and then they come in with their own Swampert. And because I had this 2 shield to no shield advantage, I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to be spamming moves back and forth. They got to their move first, so this 100% has to be a Hydro Cannon. I decide to shield it though, because I know I'm going to have to shield one of these Hydro Cannons, and I go for Earthquake, and again, it's been a minute since I played the Swampert matchup out, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I don't know if 2 Hydro Cannons does enough, so let me get the Earthquake off and the Hydro Cannon. And again, based on how quickly they got to this charge move, I knew this was also going to be a Hydro Cannon, so I decided not to shield. And then I decided I'm going to overfarm a little bit, but the last thing I want to do is get a CMP tie, because I have an Ultra League Pundo Swampert, and that means it has 0 attack. And what that means is I lose all CMP ties with other Swamperts. So I had to play that out carefully, and now I just want to get to an Earthquake to one-shot this Melmetal. They could throw a charge move here. I know they do not have enough energy to throw a Rock Slide and then get to a superpower before I can get to this Earthquake, so I comfortably shield that, get to this Earthquake. It's going to one-shot the Melmetal, and I will bounce back after that unfortunate first match loss and take the second match to be 1-1 in this current set. Getting into the third match of the set, let's see if we're going to run into a third Melmetal. Let me know if you guys have been playing regular Ultra League a bit and have been seeing a bunch of Melmetal leads also. But we get a Giratina Altered, and we're hoping it has Shadow Claw, and they swapped out, so that kind of tells me they do. They swap in Excavalier, and this is when I missed the older version of this team, because Charizard would just absolutely slaughter this Excavalier. I can still keep switch advantage, but it's not as comfortable and as nice of a swap. They go for the Drill Run. I decide to shield there. I'm overcharging just to threaten the Earthquake, because I know they can tank a Hydro Cannon. I don't think they could tank an Earthquake, and I want to get that shield from them. They decide not to shield. It puts their Excavalier in the yellow, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to overfarm a little bit, then go for the Hydro Cannon. I need to at least leave this situation with even shields and switch advantage. So that was my logic there. I get their shield finally, and I'm like, you know what, they're going to outpace me, so I'm just going to continue to overfarm. I didn't want another CMP tie. I knew, actually I'm pretty confident Excavalier wins that CMP tie. Didn't want to take the chance. They go for the Mega Horn. I want switch advantage more than anything, but because they just threw, I know I can overfarm a bunch. So I'm at 2 Hydro Cannons. Honestly, because they threw a Mega Horn, I probably could just Mud Shot down. But I'm liking this situation, not going to be too greedy here. They come in with the Giratina Altered again, and because I had all that extra energy, I'm able to get to an Earthquake, which will do about like 40% of Giratina Altered's health. You see how much it did there. It almost has it in the yellow. A couple mud shots get it in the yellow, and they throw their energy pretty quickly, and we notice their Giratina Altered's running Shadow Claw. So even though they have that one shield to no shield advantage, I think Swampert has done enough damage where that shield isn't too big of a deal. They now swap in Melmetal, and I have to be a little bit concerned here just because the Cresselia on Melmetal matchup isn't the best, so I play this out in a very unique way. I catch the superpower on my Cresselia. This is great for a couple of reasons. This superpower is going to be resisted, and then on top of it, it debuffs a Melmetal, so I don't have to worry about this matchup anymore, because now I'm dealing more damage to it, and it's dealing less damage to me, which is why I didn't immediately swap, because of how close that Cresselia Melmetal matchup was, and they had shield advantage. I didn't want to take any chances of swapping in, losing out Switch, and then their Melmetal having energy to potentially throw a superpower at my Obstagoon. So clinching this match was key on me pulling off that amazing swap, if I say so myself. Just, I'm sorry. You only make such smart plays, big brain plays so often when you're doing GBL battles, and that one felt pretty good, especially because, I was able to pull it off, and the Switch being broken didn't mess me over. So they're going to get to a charge move here. Probably going to be another Shadow Sneak. I don't mind that, but now I can bring in my Obstagoon to deal with their Giratina Altered, and I'm just going to overfarm like crazy. Because they're throwing Shadow Claws, the only thing I have to worry about is Dragon Claws coming through, and these Dragon Claws really just do like that much. I could tank about maybe, I'd say 3 or 4 of them, or 2 or 3 more from that first one. So I get the 2 Night Slashes, getting off the first one here. This will not take out the Giratina Altered, but it will get it low enough that I can throw non-stab, double resisted counters at this Giratina Altered and farm it down. So they're going to get to another charge move here. Not going to mind tanking this one either. Honestly, if they got to another Dragon Claw, I would not mind that either, which is why I'm being very greedy here and committing to that counter down. Fully expecting the Melmetal to come in. We see MP tie, but they know they have to throw a Rock Slide. If they throw a superpower, they debuff themselves too much to lose. They throw a Rock Slide, I survive, I get to a Night Slash, they still lose. So this worked out pretty good, and I had one lead in this match, so I was able to keep things lined up the way that I would have preferred. Pulled off a really nice swap, GG. Getting into the 4th match of the set. Let's see what these leads are going to be. Got my Obstagoon going up against my opponent's Ampharos. And I'm like, did my opponent come into a regular Ultra League by mistake? Because I know Premier wouldn't let me in because I'm running a Cresselia. So I know this could be my mistake on my part. Either way, I'm quite curious to see what my opponent's team comp is going to be. And I know how this matchup kind of goes. I can win this as long as I don't get Focus Blasted. And what I've been doing, because I've been trying to really hone in on my counting skills, at least the slower, easier moves, I've been getting my ADD to focus a bit. I knew that was enough for a Focus Blast, so I decided the shields. Ended up being a Thunder Punch. I got baited, but better safe than sorry, because Focus Blast would one-shot my Obstagoon here. Either way, I'm going to get off this next Night Slash. I would love a boost. That'd be great. I do get my opponent's shield there. They're going for the next charge move immediately, and what they really should have done was build up to another Focus Blast to continue threatening my shields, because at that point, I knew for a fact it was a Thunder Punch. I was not worried about potentially shielding it or not. Now, I'm going to get off another Night Slash here. This will either take out my opponent's Ampharos or get their last shield. It gets their last shield. I get a boost. And what I decide to do here ends up being a huge mistake on my part. I let this go through because I didn't want to be greedy since I got the boost and commit to a 0 shield, or not 0 shield, a 2 shield matchup where their back line might just be a Charmer and that boost goes completely to waste. So I let Obstagoon go down to keep the shield, and I know I have Swampert to farm down the Ampharos like I did, and they end up having an Articuno in the back. So I'm kind of like, darn, I kind of wish I countered down, had the Night Slash ready, potentially throw it at the Articuno, would have been boosted, would have been worth it. I'm spamming these Hydro Cannons here. But yeah, that was a big mistake, me not committing to the 2 shields, but I didn't really want to take the chance. I didn't know how important Switch would be there. I kind of felt like the shield would be more important. Luckily, since I was able to farm down, I'm able to get off 2 Hydro Cannons there before they get off an Icy Wind, and I have the Articuno pretty low. They're going for a charge move. I'm worried they have a Registeel in the back, so I'm keeping my Swampert alive, and then I swap into my Cresselia, and lo and behold, they have a Registeel. So between the Articuno and the Registeel, they came into regular Ultra on purpose with that Ampharos, and this was one of the reasons why I really didn't want to play regular Ultra, because I am so sick and tired of seeing Registeel. So sick and tired. There's no 1 Mon You can argue with me, please. Argue with me in the comment section. There's no one Mon in Ultra Premier that you see as often as you see Registeel in regular Ultra. This is not my one and only set that I did in Ultra because I wanted to film something decent for you guys. So I did a couple practice sets to make sure I got my bearings back in regular Ultra. And I was seeing Registeels all over the place. So I don't know if it was just, you know, bad luck on my part. You let me know if Registeels are as prevalent as they were before. But the way they look to me, they look pretty prevalent. Either way, we're throwing Moonblasts and Flash Cannons back and forth. My switch timer's up, so I go immediately into my Swampert here, and they stay in, and I'm like, I wonder if they were trying to catch an Earthquake on their Articuno, because I had no idea why they stayed in. This is a huge mistake. They should have swapped right into their Articuno immediately when I swapped, and they let me get all the way to an Earthquake, land it on their Registeel, take it out. They're going to get out this Icy Wind, but I'm going to survive this Icy Wind, and even though I'm debuffed, I'm going to get to another Hydro Cannon, and I'm going to finish off this Articuno. But I'm also quite curious on why they played that like that, because that was definitely a big mistake on their part. If they swap in Articuno immediately, because they also had the Icy One pretty much ready, even if I took out the Articuno, their Registeel probably would have outpaced me to a charge move, or just would have taken out my Swampert before my Swampert could take it out. So that was also a big mistake, but hey, we take those wins. So, I'm feeling like I'm getting my bearings back in regular Ultra. I still like this team quite a bit. I kind of want to try it again with Charizard, so I might do that. Maybe that'll be the next regular Ultra League video, but we'll see how that goes. Either way, getting into the 5th and final match of the set, we have the Obstagoon on Articuno lead here, and I remember this lead very well, because in Season 2, I would run into Articuno after Articuno after Articuno lead, and my Obstagoon didn't really want to see it unless it got a boost. So I'm throwing this first Night Slash, hoping for the boost. Don't get the boost, very unfortunate. And then I kind of remember my back line doesn't really like this Articuno that much. So the way I'm going to actually play this out is I'm going to try just to commit to the 0 shield and get this Articuno as low as possible. I'm also going to be fishing for a boost, and hopefully I'll catch something. But probably not going to. It's a 1 in 8 shot, so for any of you that didn't know that, 12.5% chance of the boost happening when you're doing a Night Slash. I do know that information. I might not know my typing so well, but I know that information. And then get off another Icy Wind there, and I'm going to go for another Night Slash. This is not going to take out their Articuno. I haven't committed a shield here. They haven't committed a shield here. And the biggest issue is that Icy Wind put me in a very unfortunate health range, because they could farm me down. So I swapped into Cresselia there, and this is what I'm talking about. I safe swap Cresselia a lot with this team, and I do not miss getting counter swapped by Registeel. I actually thought this was a different match. I thought in one of the matches, I just completely played it out and let myself get Ice Sharded down and brought in Swampert, and then my Swampert got debuffed and I couldn't even mud shot down the Articuno. So I'm not sure which are the better plays in that situation. I think the safe swap of Cresselia is the better play in that spot, and just to really hope that they don't have a Registeel like this, because outside of Registeel, not too many things are walling Cresselia. So just unfortunate. I do get the debuff there, and we're just going to play out this very long and drawn out matchup. They're going to spam me with Flash Cannons. I'm going to continue throwing Moonblasts. I'm going to wait for my switch timer to come up. I'm over farming here. I decided to throw my move, and what I was kind of hoping to do was I wanted them to throw, and then I wanted to go on the Swampert, but they were taking a while to throw, so I was getting a bit impatient, and I didn't want to be at 2 Moonblasts or over farm 100 energy. So they get into another Flash Cannon here. Cresselia will survive with some energy, and then I'm going to swap into Swampert, and I'm going to really hope that they don't have a Giratina altered, and they swap back into their Articuno. But it was a good play on their part, because I had an Icy Wind loaded up, which they're going to be able to throw at me, and debuff my Swampert to then deal with whatever their last Pokemon is. Also, this was a matchup where I wanted to commit to a Mud Shot down, and because it's double resisted and I was debuffed, I couldn't commit to the Mud Shot down comfortably. I did not want to get Icy Winded again, so I had to throw my Hydro Cannon here. And then, unfortunately, their last Pokemon here is Giratina Altered. So I do start to play poorly at this point in the match, mostly because once I saw the Giratina Altered, I didn't think there was a shot in heck that I was going to win this match. But I think I had a slight chance. Me being debuffed was a part of the problem, but we'll talk about what I could have done differently here that would have made this match closer. I kind of just saw the Giratina Altered after getting debuffed and was like, screw this. But let's talk about it. They're Shadow Claw, and they're Shadow Claw in the way. They have a bunch of energy. What I should have done was swapped out at that Earthquake. I should have built up to that Earthquake and went into Obstagoon, and then came back in with that Earthquake later, because it would have landed like it just did and dealt more damage. I then could have gone to Obstagoon, let it take a charge move, because there wasn't, even at that low of health, there wasn't a good chance of it getting Shadow Clawed down. The opponent could have, it definitely was possible, don't get me wrong, but they might have seen how long it was taking to Shadow Claw down, and just out of impatience throwing the Dragon Claw, which could have helped me there. And then I also forgot that this Cresselia did have some energy. Now, if their Giratina Alter would have stayed there, I probably would have just gotten Shadow Claw down. So honestly, I probably had zero chance here no matter what. But those are just some things I could have done differently to make it at least appear closer. But this was just unfortunate lining up of Pokemon. Not too much I could do in this match. Overall, you guys know the spiel. Let me know about what you thought of the matches. Let me know what you think of this team comp. If you've been seeing this team comp, is it a popular team comp in regular Ultra these days? I wouldn't know. Haven't been playing much. But hey, you know what? One of my first sets back, getting readjusted, we take those positive 3 and 2s. Anything 3-2, 4-1, of course we take a 5-0. Anything positive, we 100% take. But please, in the comment section, if you want to see regular Ultra content and regular Master content in the future, please let me know. I will 100% put in the extra effort for you guys to alternate the content as consistently as I possibly can. Other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.